y'all? This is DJ Earthkwak. Welcome to another series of the Afropreneurs. And I'm here with my good friend, DJ MAGA. What's happening, brother?
What's up, brother, man?
Can't call it, man. Thank you for taking another seat with me, man.
Yeah, I know. Second time.
Second time is always a good time. So before we get started on everything, just let them know some of the business ventures that you have or that you're into.
So right now, what I have is I'm a DJ, so I do a lot of DJing in the city. I have a company called AfroSocaLove. We do a lot of events. We do a lot of community development. Right now it's in startup phases, so
okay.
it's like our first year and a half. And also I'm getting into marketing, so I have another marketing consultancy company I'm working through. But all of that has been leveraged through DJing. Okay. So everything falls under my whole DJ umbrella, which is a blessing.
Okay, so what was the mindset behind starting AfroSocaLove?
I started AfroSocaLove basically because it felt like the right time last year to start it, but really it's been something I've always believed in. Like, I'm very much like aware of, my African roots, and I've always been the person to advocate for Africa and like also unifying and bringing people to understanding like, yo, we are very connected, we're very similar, you know what I'm saying? So it started basically off of me knowing that now soca and Afro beats is coming together musically as far as like big name artists. So like I felt like it was a good time to start this brand which kind of continues that, to leverage that idea. So like it was the right time, but also it's also been something I always wanted to do. Like I've always been adamant on like how can we bring together Caribbean, African, and like people of the African diaspora together, and like what is the best way to do it. And for me, and right now, what we do, it's through music.
Nice. Now, would you consider AfroSocaLove your purpose?
It's been my calling for sure, because I majored in school and I majored in sociology and African studies.
Okay.
So I've always been adamant on like social interaction. I think that's what our strength is, like understanding people as far as a brand, and like just African studies, because I'm very like adamant on like learning as much as I can. Not to say I know a lot, but like I want to learn as much as I can about Africa, because it helps me understand myself. And once I understand myself, I feel I'm capable of anything. And I think if more people understood themselves, they'll be capable of a lot more too. So it's definitely been my calling. And even in school, I was, very much in the ASA. I was also leadership in CSA. I was always trying to bring together the two. So it's like I've been kind of preparing myself for this brand itself without me even realizing. So definitely been my calling.
So during this whole process of, brainstorming on your marketing company and AfroSocaLove, who's been your support system?
So it's changed. Like I feel like sometimes you quote unquote outgrow your mentors, and sometimes you grow into new spaces and you meet new people. So definitely, like as the years has progressed, like I've had people who's kind of been around me to help me steer my ship, but like right now I'm getting a lot of influence from like my father and like like my family and stuff like that now. So but when I was in school, like a lot of like student leadership and stuff like that was very big in like my development. And then when I got out of school, there was like people I met in the area, and just now it's like really like my family. And like I'm actually the more the brand is growing, the more I'm reaching out to people for like mentorship and like how do I grow this idea. And like I'm getting a lot more older people in different realms like willing to give me advice and help as well. So it's just growing and changing all the time.
Definitely. So one of your nicknames is the Music Narrative. I'm curious, does your narration of music change year by year or month by month depending on how life takes its course?
Yeah, it's really like how life takes course, and it's really like an expression, you know what I'm saying? So like I might feel something expressively, or like feel a certain mood, or feel like a certain space in my career, and that's when I share my musical narrative, which is really a story. So like, it definitely is always changing and it's always adjusting. Something might happen dramatic, you know what I'm saying, in the world that I feel touched by. and that becomes the storyline behind the music narrative. So it's definitely always changing, and I don't want it to ever stay the same. So like I think like, you know, when I get older, I'll be able to look back at it and see, wow, things have progressed, or I remember that moment back then. And that's what I hope people can do with their own lives, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like look back at their stories.
So how long have you been DJing?
I've been DJing officially for like, say like 9 years. I started when I was in high school.
Started high school, okay.
Yeah, but like seriously, probably the past like 4 or 5 years. So it's been like my job.
Now, this might be a two-part question. You can either answer both or just one. But everybody has that moment where they're like, just like, F it, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I don't care what anybody else says. So for DJing and AfroSocaLove, what was the F it moment? Are they like synonymous? Did like similar things happen?
Well, I definitely remember the moment. So like when I finished, when I graduated from Howard, I was DJing like casually. I didn't really know what I was doing, like, and I was definitely in that mode like we all get when we finish school, like, what am I gonna do next? You know what I mean? But luckily, like, I was DJing at this one nightclub called Bar 7, and the owner approached me because he's heard me play all the time. And gave me an opportunity to play like for more the commercial events.
Okay.
I was playing like, you know, the underground event, and like once he gave me that opportunity, like every week, like financially I was sustaining myself. So I was like, yo, this could make sense as far as DJing is concerned. And then from there, like things just grew, and then I got more opportunities, and like, but it was definitely, that was the moment where I said, yo, you know what, you could probably make this a career, because the type of money I was seeing, like I could actually sustain myself. And then also just the fact that he gave me an opportunity to do more made me also feel like I can leverage more out of myself and like do more musically, and like just be a better DJ, and like actually do this for a living. And then also for AfroSocaLove, the moment I felt like I got leverage was after our first event.
The one at Cafe Asia?
Yeah, because I was doing it by myself for a strong year, just strictly social media, and I was learning a lot of marketing through AfroSocaLove. And when I was doing it by myself, like, people loved it, and like, you know, my mixtapes did really well. But when I did the first event, that was like a manifestation of the idea physically, like to see how much people were like truly in tune and interested in the idea of unity. Because like, yeah, it's a party, but a lot of everything is based around the idea of love and unifying. So like, just the fact that there was so much different people, diverse group of people that I honestly have never seen at a lot of the African functions or Caribbean functions, made me realize like, yo, this is something you need to invest towards. And then when we did our second event in Atlanta now, like, we had 5 weeks, we had a 5-week stretch. I literally knew nobody in Atlanta, and we brought in like 1,000 people. Oh, wow. Which was just a testament of how much people want this. You know what I'm saying? And like, it doesn't matter where you're from or the fact that I'm from Atlanta or not, like, this is a huge idea that deserves my attention. So like, that's when I really, after Atlanta is when I really sat back and said, yo, what are you gonna do next for this? Because you don't want to sit on something like this, because people want this. So you have to make sure you're providing this for people and bringing people together at the same time. Definitely. So would you say Atlanta is like your, I guess, the most favorite moment of so far with AfroSocaLove? Or was it the first event? The first one was emotional because it was like my birthday too. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, definitely. I was a bit lit, you know. But the second one was like more of like gave me a grounding, because like of where it started. So, and also like the amount of energy, honestly, I put towards it, and not to take away from the fact that this was truly a group effort. Like, I have a whole team that helps me that, like, manage and make sure things happen. But like, I definitely spent a lot of time in Atlanta for 5 weeks. I definitely knew nobody, and now I know like a lot of people in Atlanta. I've made a lot of friends through this event, and also like, you know, just the response of people was like ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And like, there was moments where I would talk about like, you know, and I always make it a point to like, when I'm in the event, like, how are you reaching people and reaching back to the idea of unifying people? So I always mention it over the microphone. Yo, we're all African. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Whether you're from Africa or you're not from Africa, you're here to, this is a learning space and stuff like that. when I would mention stuff like that to the masses of people, the response I got for them was like overwhelming. Like people was like, yeah, like, oh my God. Like people want this idea, but they just don't feel comfortable enough sometimes in some of our events we do as Caribbean people and African people.
Definitely.
So it's like, that was like a real humbling moment where I was like, protect this idea. Don't like just do this for casual fun. Like this is actually something that people want to see more of, and like this can actually develop communities and bring people together.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
So about to round up here. Can you tell the people, anybody that's striving to be an entrepreneur, any words of wisdom that you were given or that you have to share?
Yo, this shit is not like for the birds. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not fun. Like,
Okay.
Me sitting here right now, like, this is still hard for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, you compromise like your life. You know what I'm saying, for this? Like, cause at the end of the day, you don't always get a perfect score. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not school. Like, you can't just fail and, you know, to retake the class. You know what I mean? Like, this is life. Like, you fail, like, your bills are compromised, your life is compromised. So just be willing and understand and, like, know that this is not easy. This is a everyday 24-hour, like, this is a lifestyle that you have to be. I feel like it's a spiritual thing.
Definitely.
Like, so you should be spiritually aware that things will not always be in your favor. And spiritually, you need to be strong enough to overcome that. Because if you're not spiritually prepared for like this type of business lifestyle, it's best you leave, like, stay in a 9-to-5 in that comfort zone, because you will feel compromised. Like, you will be stressed and it will hurt physically, mentally, financially, you name it. You know what I'm saying? So just prepare yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's not impossible though.
Okay. Now tell them where they can find you at.
So my social media, everything is at DJ MAGA32. My website, www.djmagamusic.com. All our social media for AfroSocaLove is at AfroSocaLove. I also have a clothing line, which is, you know, very much African inspired. That's at Mayo Designs. And we have a whole bunch of other stuff in the works, so just keep up. And just, you know, I have stories to share. And
Definitely.
I want to hear other people's stories. And I'm very much like all about the story. So, you know, music narrative is a lifestyle.
Okay. Well, DJ to DJ, once again, I appreciate you for sitting down with me.
Man.
This has been another episode of Afropreneurs with your boy DJ Earthkwak, and of course my guy DJ MAGA. We will see y'all next time.